Welcome back, everyone, to today's Explainer. We're traveling way, way back in time to the deep, starry desert for an epic, ancient crafting challenge. We're diving into Exodus chapter 39. So I want you to imagine this huge team of skilled builders and artists, the Israelites, and they're given a mission to create the most magnificent structure in the world. But there's a huge catch. They can't just build whatever they want. They have an actual divine blueprint straight from God, and they have to follow it absolutely perfectly, using the most beautiful, shimmering, Egyptian-style materials you could ever imagine. Let's see if they pull it off. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever tried to build a massive toy set, or maybe put together a giant puzzle, and you had to follow a super complicated instruction manual, like one of those thick booklets? Well, imagine trying to build the most amazing, magical tent ever created, the tabernacle, but having to follow the instructions flawlessly, without missing a single tiny step. That's exactly what the Israelites were up against. They had to weave the fabric, hammer the gold, and carve the stones exactly as Moses had been ordered. It was literally the ultimate test of teamwork and paying extreme attention to detail. So to kick things off, they had to create the holy garments. These were special officiating clothes for Aaron the priest to wear right in the holy place. And guys, they didn't just use regular thread. The skilled artisans literally took solid gold, hammered it into incredibly thin plates, and then carefully cut those plates into tiny glittering threads. I mean, wow. They worked this pure gold directly into vibrant blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, weaving it all together with fine linen to make a gorgeous ritual vest. Just imagine how much that vest must have sparkled under the hot desert sun. Now, what's really fascinating here is the number 12. You see, Aaron's outfit included a very special folded square breastplate that was woven with that same gold and colorful yarn. But the absolute most spectacular part about this breastplate was that it held exactly 12 dazzling stones. Every single one was mounted beautifully in pure gold settings, and the whole thing was held up by pure twisted gold chains that looked like bright, shiny cords. It's just incredible craftsmanship. Let's talk about this dazzling gemstone blueprint. The stones were arranged perfectly into 4 rows. Row 1 had a carnelian, a topaz, and an emerald. Row 2 featured a green feldspar, a sapphire, and, yep, a diamond. Row 3 glowed with an orange zircon, an agate, and an amethyst. And finally, the 4th row was finished off with a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. But listen, these weren't just pretty rocks. Every single stone was carefully engraved, like a shiny seal, with the name of one of the 12 sons of Israel. So whenever the priest wore this breastplate, he was literally carrying all 12 tribes of Israel close to his heart. And check out this amazing hem pattern they created for this special blue robe. On the very bottom of the robe, the artisans wove beautiful little pomegranates out of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn. Then, they crafted tiny, actual bells out of pure gold. They attached them in a repeating pattern all the way around the bottom edge. So it went bell, pomegranate, bell, pomegranate. Because of this perfect alternating design, the priest's robes would actually make this wonderful, ringing music every single time he moved around in the holy place. To top it all off, literally right on his head, they made a magnificent turban of fine linen. But the absolute coolest part was the ornament attached to the front of it. They crafted a pure gold plate and tied it on with a bright blue cord. And just like they did with those gemstones, they engraved very specific, powerful words right into the gold, set apart for Adonai. It was kind of like a magical, shining achievement badge, announcing to everyone that they were fully dedicated to God. But the epic crafting definitely didn't stop there. It wasn't just about the clothes. The Israelites finally finished all the work for the entire tabernacle, the tent of meeting. They basically completed the ultimate checklist. They built the ark for the testimony with its poles. They crafted the coverings made of tanned ram skins and fine leather. They made the pure menorah with its lamps, the gold altar, the fragrant incense, and the bronze altar with all of its utensils. They even finished the giant tapestries for the courtyard. The whole shebang was fully built, polished, and totally ready to go. Now this is where it gets really suspenseful. Inspection day! The Israelites gathered up every single finished piece, the heavy wooden planks, the golden furniture, the beautifully woven screens, and those sparkling garments, and they brought them all directly to Moses. Moses looked closely at every single detail. Did they was a hook? Did they accidentally use the wrong color yarn? Nope! Moses looked at all the work and realized that they had done it absolutely perfectly. Exactly as God had ordered, they had done it, without missing a single step from that giant blueprint. So, what does this all mean for us?
Let's unpack the big lessons from this incredible story. The first one is meticulous obedience. If you read through this chapter, the phrase "as the Lord had commanded" is repeated over and over and over again. Why? Well, because God values exactness. Following his instructions perfectly to the letter isn't just about being good at following rules. It's actually a beautiful foundational act of worship. It shows that we are listening closely and that we deeply care about what God cares about.
The second amazing lesson here is the importance of excellence. The Israelites didn't just throw this tent together with old sticks and plain boring cloth. They crafted everything with incredible skill, using pure hammered gold, precious glowing gemstones, and the absolute finest woven linen. This proves a really wonderful point. God deserves our absolute best. Whatever unique talents you have, whatever great things you can do, you should always give your very best effort and use those talents for God's glory.
And our third big takeaway is divine approval and blessing. Because the Israelites worked together as this amazing team and followed all of the commands perfectly, this massive challenge had a super happy ending. When Moses inspected their flawless work, he was so thrilled that he gave all the people of Israel a massive blessing. It proves for sure that when we offer faithful service and work together in obedience, it leads to beautiful spiritual rewards, real joy and peace.
Man, what an incredible journey through Exodus 39. Seeing how those hammered gold threads and brilliant gemstones came together perfectly is just mind-blowing. So here's my final question for you to think about today. What blueprint are you going to follow with excellence in your own life? How can you use your very best talents today? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. If you loved exploring this epic ancient challenge, please click the bell button, like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories. See you next time.